Thanks, Supervisor Mark. Hard luck. Mark, all things considered, given the resources and the side you had at your disposal, were you quite heartened by what you saw, and which signs did you see that are positive and which ones still need work?
Yeah, I mean, I think we played some good cricket, throughout the series. We lost we had a very good meeting after our first game that we lost. I felt that we got ourselves into a strong position there, but unfortunately couldn't pull it off. The way we played in the second game is sort of the brand of cricket that we want to play. We need to show more intent, especially with the batting. The way that we go about, especially playing spinners, need to stay a little bit more busier and not be sort of reactive, be more proactive. I think the guys really showed that, and it does show a little bit of bravery to go out and play like that. I think today we sort of try to play like that. Maybe we should have been a little bit smarter at certain stages of the game. But we're going in that direction, and that's the way that we want to play. And I think that's encouraging. Even though we got ourselves into a bit of trouble, we still managed to get out, I thought, a half decent total. Although maybe 15, 20 runs shy, we're still in the game until the last couple of overs. So a lot of positives. A couple of youngsters coming through. Shamo really bowled well throughout the whole series, and he's fitting in nicely into his role as being our sort of trump card leg spinner. Reza played nicely as well throughout the series. David's knock towards the end there was great. Good to see him back in the run. So as a bowling unit, I thought we did really well. Batting, the times that we didn't perhaps do that well, but all in all, I think it was a good tour.
Zahir?
Hi Mark, Zahir here. Just after the test, you said the big moments weren't played well. Will you say that a similar thing in the T20 series with just at crucial times, maybe just not the correct options, or not just handling those big moments well that generally?
Yeah, look, I think in the first game, the one nice thing about T20 cricket is that you can very much analyse every moment in the game. So I think in the T20, in the first T20, over 6 to 10 batting, we got 15 runs was a bit of an issue. I think we probably lost, well, not probably, we did lose the game in that small period. So yes, we could have done better there. The second game went according to plan, and then the last game now, if you look at it in the batting, losing 3 or 4 wickets in the space of 3 overs was always going to put us under pressure. So yes, that key moment, we didn't play particularly well. So yes, I suppose you can look back and say, the key moments have really cost us in this tour. But for me, as a coach, we have spoken about them, and we'll continue to try and get through to guys and get through the players that they need to improve, and let's try not to make the same mistakes again. And I think if we can do that, then we're going to be growing in the right direction.
Telford, followed by Hussein.
How's it, Mark? Bad luck with the results, but I think the team probably performed better than a lot of people were saying they would in this series, before it started. So, what does that do for you've got Pakistan coming now in a few weeks to South Africa? You must be looking forward to that hugely, based on what's happened in this series.
I think the nice thing for me is that throughout the last couple of years, we're really getting a nice group of players together, and our depth is certainly getting where we want it to be. We're giving opportunities to guys, and we're seeing what sort of players we have in a quite a big pool. I think because of COVID reasons as well. I mean, we've had to use quite a big pool of players. So guys are getting opportunities. They are learning some tough lessons. I mean, you want to be winning, and unfortunately we didn't. But I think the lessons that the guys are learning stands us in good stead in the near future, hopefully. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this group of players. I think I think the media were sort of writing the guys off a bit. I think they put up a good fight in this whole series. And yeah, for me, going into a T20 competition back home now, it's going to be good to see how these guys go, and hopefully they stand up and put some pressure on the squad. It's World Cup year as well. So these guys they all stand a chance of getting into that final squad as well, and hopefully they put the numbers on the board.
Sorry guys, we've been told we've got 20 minutes until we have to leave the stadium, so we're going to only allow these last 2 questions, Hussein, and then we're going to wrap up with Ken.
Hi, Mark. Just a couple of questions. What was the toughest part of this tour, and what were the best memories that you would take away from this tour?
I think that's the tough part is always losing a series. So, you know, that is always, we come here to win, we didn't come here to lose a series. So I think that's tough. And for me, just the way that we did play a couple of those big moments was a little bit disappointing. We sort of got ourselves into the game, and then we found stupid ways to get ourselves out of the game again. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of learnings that we can take from Pakistan. I mean, it's a fantastic place to play cricket. You know, you just see around the grounds, you have all the history around the grounds and some of the great talents that have come out of Pakistan. These conditions are foreign to us. We don't face a lot of reverse swing, especially in a test match environment. The spin is not as bad as what I think it is in India and Sri Lanka. It's not as much turn, but there's a definite technique that you still have to apply, especially when batting. Our bowling, I was really proud about the way that the guys went about the bowling. I think the bowling was probably a standout for me. So yeah, there's a lot of lessons that the guys would have learned from this particular tour, and it can only help them going back into South Africa and becoming better players.
Ken.
Thank you.
Hi, Mark. There was a stat I saw that in the last few years, South Africa have conceded the second most runs in the last 4 overs in T20 cricket. Again, tonight we saw the death bowling being an issue. How much of a concern is that for you, and what's being done about it?
Well, Ken, we're bowling a lot of Yorkers at training, so that's what's been done about it. We do understand. We also see the stats on TV. So yes, it is something that we continuously work at. I think it's quite difficult when there's quite a lot of dew around the ground. So you know, it's difficult to judge guys on that all the time. I don't think their death bowling was particularly good in saying that as well. So we also scored quite a lot of runs at the death. So I think we've got to be fair there. We're also trying to get quite a few players to be able to be options at death as well. So the only way that happens is if you put guys under a bit of pressure and say to them, tonight you bowling death. And I think you know, if we can get more guys who are basically options, then it's going to be better for us going forward as well. So you know, guys like KG and Anna, they've shown in the IPL that they're fantastic at death. So you know, they are always going to be options for us. And I think this particular tour, we tried out 1 or 2 other guys. And there are certain stages. I think the second game, a guy like Dwayne, I mean, the way that he bowled at death was fantastic as well. So yeah, I think we are working at it. I mean, we understand and we know that stat is up there. So there's nothing more else that we can do is put guys into those situations and hope that they become better, and also just keep working harder at training times as well.